Bitcoin is right now approaching a key level of resistance here on the top side. We can see this right here. I'm going to discuss this, discuss the liquidations, discuss the open interest and funding rates, Iran and Trump, key updates right here, and much more. So let's start with Bitcoin right here. Let's look at it on the daily time frame. Right now, obviously, we broke down 2 times from this bear flag pattern, 2 times, and right now we're forming an interesting structure which is being supported, of course, by the major level of support here at $60,000. Support right here when we broke the first bear flag pattern, or we found support right there, and right now the bear flag pattern found support also here. And this level, of course, has also previously acted as strong support. You can see all the way here in 2024, late 2024, we found support. So this is a key level to look at. Now let's go on the 4-hourly and have a look at what's happening. We broke up, hit our resistance target right here, broke down, and this is the level I'm looking for right now. $63,800, which has acted as previous resistance. Let me mark it for you guys. Resistance has acted as perfect support right here, actually. And we broke down. It has also acted as somewhat of support here, and right now is acting as support for us as well. So this is the level to look at. $63,800, $63,900 is really the level we want to be staying above for if we are bullish, and of course below if we are bearish. And we know my stance, right? My stance is that we can push a bit higher, but eventually I think we're going to go down, retest the $60,000 region, and then I think we can push higher from there, but I think we're going to go down, right? Yes, we can go a bit higher here, and the level to look out for is this green line, which has, if I look at on the daily, has acted as support and resistance. Let's look at the 4-hourly. It's a bit nicer here. We can see that it is basically perfectly support until it of course becomes resistance, and right now we are trading in this very narrow range. You can see we're trading between here the green line and this white line at $63.8, $63.9 thousand. Now what do I think will happen next? We have to always look at the liquidation heat map, and the liquidation heat map is telling a clear story, and in order to tell the story, of course, we have to look at history. So when we went down before, as we were going down, we were building up liquidity on the upside. And this is, of course, from people shorting as we're going down. People think that we're going further down. They're starting to short the markets, which is building up liquidity on the upside. And what happens is that this acts as a trap. We go up, grab that liquidity. This is the trap. People think we continue to go up, but no, we continue the move to the downside. All we did was grab that liquidity, which you can see right here. And the same thing is playing out right now. Bitcoin has liquidity on the upside of people shorting. Right, they're heavily shorting the markets, and the liquidity is just above us. So I think we're gonna have the same thing happening like we did before. We're gonna grab the liquidity here up to like $65,000. It's most of the liquidity, and we're gonna grab the liquidity and then grab that big chunk of liquidity which is right below us. So let me go on the 2-weekly, and we can see more clearly all of the liquidity that I am talking about, which is actually below the current price. So once the chart loads, you can see right here that most of the liquidity is actually below us. A big cluster at $62,000, and then another big cluster of like $100 million in liquidation leverage at $60,000. So here we go. Let's play it out. First, grab the liquidity, probably find a bounce from here. Grab the liquidity, what was it, $65,000, which will bring us to approximately the resistance here at the green line. And from there, we'll go down, break this line, probably $62,000. There was a big liquidity cluster. And then the $60,000 region, which is of course previous major support, right? This line that I'm talking about, the $60,000 line. And that's what I think will happen next, unbiased point of view. Now quickly here, Bitcoin funding rates still very positive. So people are still believing that we're going up. People are still longing the markets. As long as funding rates are positive, most people are longing the markets, which makes you believe we're going the other way, right? Liquidity is still being built up below us as long as people are longing the markets, which means we're going the other way. Most of the time, we always follow the liquidity. What can we see in open interest? Well, open interest has pretty much remained flat. So whatever the move is, it's not really being sustained. For example, right here, the move to the downside was being accompanied by rising open interest, which means the move has power, right? It is sustained, it has momentum, it is most likely going to continue. Once we see a blow off top here in open interest and contracts being closed, that's usually when we see a reversal. And right now we don't see really an increase in open interest. So if we saw a down move here and we saw an increase in open interest, I would believe, yes, we're going down. If I see an up move with an increase in open interest, I think, yes, it's a strong positive move, we're going up. But I don't really see much direction here. So what I think, I'm going to follow the liquidation heat map, what I just mentioned, probably go to 65, grab that liquidity, then go to 62, then go to 60. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. Let's talk about Trump. So Trump has said Iran must immediately stop their highly paid proxies in Lebanon from causing trouble. If they don't, we will hit Iran very hard again, just like we did last week, only harder. President Trump. Well, it seems like the peace deal is under jeopardy. Will it be signed? Time will tell. Let's see. And that is, of course, not good for the markets, right? Uncertainty is always bad for the markets. So once the peace deal is signed, I think we'll see a pump, and why not? If it gets signed around this level, we'll see a pump. I expect a pump still, and I still want to be shorting the markets. I'm still waiting for a good opportunity to short. Why am I not shorting here? Well, I don't see this as a key level of previous support or resistance, so I don't want to be shorting right there. This was the perfect time to short. I mean, look at this, guys. Previous support and resistance zone. Unfortunately, my short was missed by $200. If I was entered there, would have been beautiful. Nevertheless, we're gonna find another good short opportunity. I actually mentioned in my YouTube channel, emergency update. I'm shorting now. Well, only if I followed my own advice. I did short, but at a higher level. If you did short, congratulations. Now, what is Bitcoin? What am I showing you guys here? Well, this is actually, let me open it full screen. This is showing you if the majority of people who are holding Bitcoin are in a loss or in a profit. And right now we can just see that just over half of the Bitcoin supply is in a loss. Of course, if you bought at higher levels and the price continues to go down, at a certain point, the majority of holders are going to be in a loss. And historically, Bitcoin always finds a bottom when more than 50% of people are in a loss. And these are these inversion points. When more people are in a loss than people are in a profit is when we usually find a bottom. And I mean, that makes sense, right? We're just approaching a bottom scenario. And right now we just crossed this line whereby more people are or they're approximately the same and a loss than in a profit. So we know that we're approaching the line where we are approaching the final stage of this bear market. And just to reiterate here, the final stage of the bear market usually is about 12 months into the bear market, about 365 days from the top to the bottom. And you can see this right here, from the top to the bottom, 2017 to the bottom of the bear market, 2018, 365 days. Last cycle, we had the top at $69,000. We had the bottom all the way at $15,000. Brutal downtrend. I mean, let's measure the downtrend. We had a brutal downtrend here of like 75, 80%. And the downtrend usually is less and less every single time. And I expect this downtrend to potentially bring us to, the $50,000 region, as I already mentioned, and 365 days will bring us to October approximately 2026. And that's when I really be wanting to opening positions, starting to buy. Of course, if you want to be buying DCA, it's a good time to buy now as well. But I think wait a bit more, you'll have some very nice entries, which you can then hold for the next 3 years. As you can see, Bitcoin always usually goes up for 3 years in a bull market. And with that being said, keep in mind what the strategy is. In my opinion, like I just said, we'll go up here, grab that liquidity, which is a big liquidation cluster here on the 1 weekly. And if you want to have a look for yourself, just open these websites called CoinGlass, go to the liquidation heat map model 2, change the weekly time frame, the liquidation threshold. I like to put it between 0.7 to 0.8, and you'll see exactly what I'm seeing. And with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, let me know in the comments, and see you tomorrow. Bye.